Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics / Non-Classic. This is episode number 1382 and Doubleshot number 1286. I need a drink. Okay. Two Marvel trades. One is kind of an end of a series. The other is the start of a new era for a particular character. First up it is Legendary Starlord, Volume 2, Rise of Black Vortex. Yep. Now, I'm not going to discuss in here 3 of the issues. Now, basically, this book contains issues 6 to 12 of the Legendary Starlord ongoing series. Now, I'm not going to discuss issues 9 through 11 because I've already discussed them already via the Black Vortex trade. Pretty much in the case of 6 to 8, what happened in these issues? Well, we have Kitty Pryde and Starlord have a date. This also coincides with what goes on the pages of All New X leading up to Black Vortex. They go to the opera, go to the garden, and of course Peter Quill gets kidnapped. So Kitty Pryde decides to steal a Quinjet to go to space to rescue him. Oh, and we finally reveal who Mr. Knife is. Not very long wait, basically about 4 or 5 issues. He reveals it's actually his father, Jason of Spartax. Yep. Jason of Spartax, and he's got his hands on the Black Vortex. And him, of course, you have a Slayer Squad here. Mostly, he's starting his own criminal empire, and he's so bitter over the fact that Peter Quill overthrew him. That happened back in the Disassembled arc, by the way, which came out prior to this. And then, like, this little mini arc wrapped up. Then we have Black Vortex, as I've already discussed. The final issue doesn't even focus on Starlord at all. Nope. It features the return of his sister, Victoria. We get a little bit of her back history. Oh yeah, this story is simply this. By the way, the cover for the back this trade is issue 12. What's the story for this one? We actually have Victoria going to the Collector, get his hand. Now, also I should mention though, prior to the story, I forgot to mention this. Thane, Thanos' son, shows up in here in issue 7 and 8. I'm like, really, Thane? The son of Thanos. Oh yeah, he finds out his father's free. What is the point of these 2 issues? To set up the Thanos ongoing series. That came out, I think just not long after this, but I think came out just several months after this series concluded. Well, this particular series concluded. That was really the whole point of that particular 2-parter. Set up the Thanos ongoing series by Donny Cotis. Actually, it was Jeff Lemire. Yep. Oh, and by the way, issue 12, basically, she's going to Collector to retrieve her father, who was trapped in amber by Thane. And the way to get it is basically a form of dancing, because apparently he knew about her secret dance lessons. She gets to get her father back, but here's the interesting thing. They also steal a particular object, as is revealed during Black Vortex, that the planet Hela was destroyed. Well, it's in ruins. The Supreme Intelligence was killed. And I think like the Spartax people were basically put in ruin. They were attacked too. And very interesting stuff, basically, where they reveal the aftermath effects of Black Vortex. Yep. Yep, and the thing ends with Jason of Spartax just sitting his amber, and by the way, amber starts melting. Oh, by the way, do they follow this in the relaunch of the Helmets Wrath of Secret Wars? No, because his next appearance is in a one-shot by Jim Starlin, Thanos Relativity. By the way, that one-shot came out 6 years ago. And that was his last appearance to date. Yes, after appearing in comics for only 2 years. Apparently, Marvel writers are just done with this character. Oh, and by the way, they also retconned it where apparently the original Starlord stories had back in the 70s by Steve Eckhart. One starred by him, Doug Moak. Well, those are not canon to the current continuity now. Nope, they confirmed that's all a completely different universe. I'm like, really? So, the Starlord who popped up, Marvel Premiere at number 11, is not the same Peter Quill, it's a different version of him. Weird. But that's probably Bendis' fault, the fact we had that happen. Oh yeah, by the way, the Jason Spartax from that story, from that era, is not this one. It's a completely different version of the character. Yep. But I gotta say, this book is actually really good. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Final thoughts on Legendary Starlord. Now, I do own the first trade, but I can't find it. Even though I just viewed it really recently. Yep. So, This by far was really good. Humphreys himself did a great job with this book. Pocket beneath Freddie Williams, basically artist of this book. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, 12 really good issues. They're just thoroughly enjoyable. Yes, though, what happens next? Well, Sam Humphries writes a miniseries for Secret Wars that kind of, is a in-between series between this one and the relaunch of Starlord after Secret Wars. The Starlord Kitty Pride miniseries, which I probably will review that when I get hands on the next couple Legendary Starlord trades. But here's the thing. After Secret Wars, the word Legendary is dropped from the title for some strange reason and just relaunched simply as Starlord. Why? Don't know why. Also, this book doesn't last very long. It puts out 2 story arcs and it lasted 8 issues. This is basically 12 issues of awesomeness. That's the way I put it. Alright, moving on from that book to a book that came out also 6 years ago. We have, well, actually it was about 5 years ago. We have The Punisher. Yes, The Punisher. Well, this is the start of the first of 3 trades to collect Becky Cohen's run for the book. Yes, Becky Cohen. Also, fun little fact about this particular book, it is the last official series that Steve Dillon worked as an artist before he passed away. If you're curious when he passed away, that was 5 years ago. Yep. Like, one of my favorite Punisher artists, and he passes away. Yep. This book contains the first 6 issues of this run. This is actually Punisher. Let's see. 7A. This is volume 10. Yes, 10. The Matthew Osborne coming after this one, that's volume 11. Yep. Now, aside from Punisher here, it seems like this book takes a lot of inspiration from the Punisher Netflix series. Where, oh yeah, if you're curious though, like, do we have any appearance by any Punisher supporting character, any villain fall over the years? Nope. We have a brand new villain named Face. We have the DEA here. Yes, the DEA. Which is similar to what they did in the Punisher TV show with the CIA. And also involves basically, it's almost like this book is written to be kind of like Punisher Max, but set in the 616 universe. Also, apparently Becky Cohen, because of the fact has under the parental advisory for kids, basically almost like a Max book, but really isn't. I should point out though about the Punisher logo here. Yeah, this is a logo that Emerson basically gave the book when he started the book with the previous volume that came. Actually, no, this is actually, well, not his, basically his logo. This is Becky Cohen, so I thought that was Emerson. Nope, it was Becky Cohen. And apparently, if you read the series under Matthew Osborne, it seems like it started to use this logo. Excuse me. And then we relaunch number 1, and go back to the classic Punisher logo. Yep. The story in here is that Punisher is going after a guy named Face because it's a serial killer. The DEA is involved. The Face, oh boy, this guy. It's like this guy is meant to be Marvel's version of the Dollmaker. The one from Tony S. Daniels' run. The one where, in the opening issue, off panel, he decided to remove the Joker's face. Yeah. And it also reminds me a little bit of the serial killer popped up in the final arc of Detective Comic Justice 4 DC Rebirth. Yeah, that's what kind of reminds me of, with him basically having faces on his wall. Human faces on his wall. I'm not going to show it because it's just so disgusting. Yep, does Punisher Cap's face? No. The new DEO character, she of course is, well, put on mandatory leave because of a partner as Punisher himself. Yeah, people think he's dead and he crawls out of his grave like he's basically from the Punisher Purgatory series. I gotta say, it's a good start for this particular run. It feels like classic Punisher. It feels like this book basically is written as though it's basically the Max version of Punisher, given all the swearing in here and the artwork. Like right here. Punisher. Now, here's the interesting about this. Oh, by the way, this book roughly 89 out of 10. Recommended for adults. Fun little factoid about Steve Dillon Punisher. The last time Steve Dillon drew a Punisher book was Punisher Max by Jason Aaron. That was the last official time I could think of that he actually worked on a Punisher book. Yeah, that particular book. The one that introduced the next version of the Kingpin, Elektra, Vanessa Fisk, Richard Fisk, who was a little kid this series, not an adult like he is a regular one, and Elektra, yes, Elektra, who they outed this version as a lesbian. Yes, a lesbian. Also, she was Vanessa Fisk's bodyguard. Yeah, and they outed her as a lesbian by having her make out with Vanessa Fisk, and then the very next time we see these two, they're in bed together and they're both butt naked. Yep, that's Jason Aaron for you. Also, by the end of the series, pretty much all the characters were dead. Even Nick Fury shows up at the very end of the series, which he has popped up in Punisher Max before. I will probably review this one at some point, because of how interesting the series is, and it feels like basically like a Max version of the 616 Punisher's book. 616. It feels like 616 Punisher in the actual Max universe, though, basically conversion of popular characters. Yep. But as for Starfest run, is good, though it's not a very long run. Nope, not as long as Rosenberg's run. Rosenberg's run took up 5 books. This run took up 3. Yes, took up 3. And they even had an annual. But Benko didn't write it. Nope, it's written by Jerry Conway. I will eventually review that when I get some hands on it. Yeah, I have a little something to say about basically when I originally got this. I originally was going to get it at one point, but then it was going to take too long. I eventually got this for a pretty decent price on Amazon. Thanks to finally pop out on Prime. Even this book came out roughly about 5 years ago. Yep. Yeah. I'm slowly reviewing more Punisher here because I love the character Punisher. I think he's a great character. But I think now, Matthew Rosenberg is fantastic, except I had breath ending. This run is quite interesting to say the least. Yep. But look forward to basically discussing more Punisher here. Okay, so that's a particular review. Next one is going to be a review of 2 Captain America trades. Which Robert's from? You're going to find out next episode, okay? To this video. Bye.